Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for Week 41. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Boo here, and welcome back to this week's news report, where once again it is time to have a look back in the Forex market for the past week to see exactly how our EAs has been performing. Now, last week was a bit of a disaster where we saw a lot of profits actually going away from all our EAs. They pretty much dumped to not an all-time low, but very, very close after a couple of weeks where things really look good. The good part is now for this particular week here, well, the profit is back. So welcome to the Forex roller coaster in here. All our EAs seems to be doing extremely well for this particular week in here, cashing in quite nicely. But we also have to cover a couple of other things in this particular news report, such as some of the videos that we have sent out. We are again just reviving a couple of videos we did recently here, because we continue to have a lot of people asking us which ones are the best row bonds, which ones are the ones I'm supposed to start off with for my Forex trading. So, and obviously also we're going to have a look at Expert4x. They have this new indicator out that you can actually also get for free. So we'll make sure that we provide you all the links as usual in this particular video here. And don't forget, the copy link service is also here. We have made some changes this week, just so you can see how many signals are actually there that are producing very good results. So let's get into it. Let's see exactly what the week 41 had to offer. So we're going to start off with the Wave Liberator for week 41 here for the top 5 EAs, and they are filled with Japanese crosses in here. Swiss francs Japanese on top, $79, 7.9%, and then you can see you have the Great British Pounds Japanese is $71, Aussie Japanese, USD Japanese, and only the New Zealand at the bottom here of the top 5 at $38, 3.8%. So definitely the Japanese has been on the move over various currency pairs in here, and actually made $237 or 5.5%. So that is a really nice increase, and obviously this is only per week, meaning that overall, this particular portfolio, if it continues in the same manner, will make about 20% for the month, and we haven't seen numbers like that in a while. Overall, the portfolio is still doing quite well. As you can see, it's going up and up. Close profits of more than 45,000 with a floating profit and loss of -15. Overall monthly returns is 1%, but that's because we are doing $10,000 accounts. You can actually do this on a 1,000. So that means around 10%, and weekly returns around 2.5, with a trade win of 68%, and then trades per day around 12. We have a lot of history now here with 783 days. And as you'll notice, going back on the profits, net profits all the way back here to April, they look very good. Then in the summertime, it got very slow. The last couple of weeks, you can see we made 200. For the past 4 weeks, and then last week here 453. So a very nice increase overall for the Wave Liberator. Now the RSI Liberator was actually not so well either that last week, but it looks pretty good this particular week in here, where we have again a lot of Japanese currency pairs. As you can see, top one here is the Swiss francs Japanese, $126 or 12.6%. So that is a really good gain. A monthly gain pretty much done in just 1 week, and then the US Japanese coming in slightly lower here, so at $74, 7.4%, which is also not too bad. And then it drops down to the New Zealand USD, $24, 2.4%, which is no more than normal. That's what we should expect. And then for that particular portfolio in here, $336, 6.7%. So really good and starting to come alive again. We can see also here floating profit of loss is -17. We have close profits 29,000, almost 30,000 here now. Monthly returns is around 8%, and then weekly 2. We have trade wins of 66, so that's pretty well, and trades per day is around 13. Now the history is more than 550 days and still going up. And if we have a look at the net profit in here, 473. So that is extremely good number, and we have to go all the way back to the early of April 2025 to see something similar. So it has been a really, really good week for the RSI Liberator. The same thing also for the Edge, because the Edge was really, really low. We only had 4 accounts that cashed in last week. So now we're back to some kind of normal. So for the Hedge EA, the Euro AUD, $31, 3.1%. So that is not as high as some of the other ones. But even the New Zealand CAD at the lower of the top 5 with $17, 1.7% is not too bad. So overall, the portfolio in here for that EA, $123, 2.5%. So that is still some very, very good numbers and could produce around 10% on a monthly basis if that continued. Now you can see the graph again going very well here. This was back in April where we cashed in heavily on this. And again, we have now monthly returns is calculated at around 9%, weekly returns around 2%. Trade wins here is a bit higher with 70%. And then trades per day, that is slightly lower, down to 11. But we do have a lot of history now of 266 days in here for the Hedge EA. So that's good. And if you have a look at the profit also, 180. It's not massive. So it's similar to what we saw a couple of weeks ago. But compared to some of the other ones, that is still sort of just below average in here. And that is again because this one has a few accounts in drawdown. They haven't come out of it yet. Now the simple GT grid trader for week 41, the top 5 EAs in here. Well, the Swiss francs Japanese simply blew the roof off with $205 or 20.5%. Just for this particular week in here. After that, there is a long way down to the Great British Pounds USD at $48 or 4.8%. They are still very good numbers, of course. And the Euro USD at the lower of the top 5 in this portfolio here, $36, 3.6%. And that provides $374, 7.5% for the entire week in here, which is pretty much what you would normally expect on a portfolio here for the entire month. Now we have the portfolio, it seems to be going quite well. We have some bumps in here, so it is actually calculating slightly different from the other EAs that you have seen. But still, equity is about 20,900, so the floating profit has gone up end of the week here due to some high fluctuations. Close profit is still higher, so that is actually good. So it continues to drag this floating profit and loss with it on some of the accounts, but overall monthly returns, it is still a bit low overall, 6.6% with the weekly returns of 1.5. So you don't have to recalculate anything because all of them are set up on $1,000 accounts. Trade wins are 73%, and then trades per day is around 19. So very, very active. And we are now at 179 days. So it's looking very good for this particular EA also here. And for the week, we did 448. It is not the record, so but certainly it is a very good and high number that we are quite pleased with overall when you are looking back and seeing some of the other weeks in here that is down to just 2 digits. Now I told you a bit about some of the videos that we have sent out here recently. One of the ones that is very popular is actually how to clean up your MT4 platform. This particular video here is quite important when you are discussing a slowdown on your trading servers in here. So it'll clean the history, it'll clean some of the logs in there. And that means again that you're not going to have these frozen MT4 platforms that you can have from time to time, which is quite annoying depending on how full your server is. The other one is also the question that we constantly get here again about how and which EA is the best one and how they work. Well, we are actually showing it in this particular video in here. It's a couple of weeks old now, where we are taking the 5 EAs. We are going through this on a 3-month basis, and this is actually Q3 of 2025. So if you haven't seen the video yet, I'll make sure to put the link in the description below so you can see which one is actually the best. And there's a big flip in this particular video here compared to the recent one that we did after the first 6 months of 2025. It's not the same robots on top anymore. Now let's go and have a look at the lucky trader, because that one's also a bit low. And now again, we see some very, very good numbers coming in with the New Zealand USD on top here with $45, 4.5%. We have Great British Pounds CAD at $44, 4.4%. So extremely good numbers up here for just a week. And then at the bottom, we have New Zealand Swiss francs, $15, 1.5%. So still a bit low on some of them. But overall, this particular portfolio here did $150, 3%. So that is a very good and stable one. And again, this profit line here looks very, very good. And we have monthly profits still calculated by FX Blue at around 9%, weekly returns just over 2, and then trade wins at 69 with trades per day at 12.8, and then a history of 344 days. And when we look at the last couple of weeks, we had 99 and 94, and now it's more than double to 199. We are not back where we were earlier for the lucky trader, but at least looks like things are actually happening again. So let's hope that the Forex market continues to provide us some very big profits. Now we also have to go and speak about the Expert4x and the videos that have sent out in here. Again, there's a help. I need help with my Forex trading. And basically this particular video here provides a few insights on how you can actually get started from Expert4x and Alex. There's various ways where you can get your Forex career started up. So he's explaining all this in that particular video. So this is good for the novice, the rookie, the starter in the Forex market. The second one that he did is actually a new indicator. Well, we have actually covered this in the past. This is a spaghetti indicator. There's a free one from Expert4x. And this particular one actually shows the strength and the weaknesses of the individual currency pairs. So when they're on top, they are strong, and then you try and match them up with something that is weak. And then hopefully from there on, you get a chance to basically cash in on this particular indicator. Now we have done this in the past also for a fully set up EA. We traded a lot of different currency pairs, but we never really managed to get this particular one to work. So I don't know if this indicator is slightly different or has other parameters in here than what we have seen on the prior EA, but we will obviously have a closer look to see if this is a way to go. Last but not least, we also have to cover the copy link service, and I've done a slightly different selection this particular week. Floating profit and loss, I still don't want to see anything over 300. So you will notice that they are quite low, 197, 190 in here. So that's good. Then we have total negative weeks in the last 8 weeks. We don't want to see anything over minus 300 either. And that looks pretty okay. We just have one at minus 233 in here. So that's not too bad. And then we have return on total drawdown. Normally we use 100%. I took it down to 0 because you will still have some accounts that will be able to make good money. So you can see some of them in here is at 52%. But when you look at gains in the last 8 weeks, high to low, well, then you're actually still getting around 8%, which is not too bad over an 8 weeks period. And some of the other ones down here in red, still producing also 4 or 5%. We only have one that has a slight minus in here. The rest is actually nicely positive. And then obviously on top here, you have some really good numbers. Again, 26, 29, 31 and 32% in here. So that is the top for the copy link service. So this is what we had for you in this week's news report. As you can see, the Forex market has its own mind, and basically what is up is down and vice versa here. Sometimes we have gone through quite a bit of a period since the summertime where the profits was extremely low. Then as it came back here for the last couple of weeks, and then last week it just dropped. Now it's back again. It is highly unusual to see so big fluctuations in here, but we are staying steady. We have the same settings. Obviously, we're always trying to optimize them, but we still try not to take too much risk when we are seeing our profits are low, because as soon as the Forex market starts moving again, you can see the profit is there. So don't be too eager to become a millionaire tomorrow. So this is what we had, and I hope that you liked everything you saw in here. You can see our EAs are doing really, really well. So over long periods of time, we are not blowing any of the accounts, but obviously we always have to be very careful. So I hope that you enjoyed this news report. Please give us a thumbs up and a like, and hopefully also a comment, just so let us know about your trading, and if you're also in on the CopyLink service, how things are going for you right there. Otherwise, I hope to see you on one of my other videos. Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report. So please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way, you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.